Hello everyone, this is Captain Joel, and welcome to my latest Marvel Puzzle Quest video. In this video we're going to be talking about the newest feature added to the game, Shield. As you see, when you log into the game for the first time after this new update, you'll see this little icon in the top left, and you click on it and it'll tell you what your current shield rank is. Your shield rank starts out depending on what your roster is at the time that you log in. The maximum starting level is level 65 and the minimum is level 5. And essentially this new system gives you a one-time payout of ISO 8 based on what your shield rank is. And it basically gives you all of the past rewards you would have received. So that in this case, because I'm the maximum rank, 65, that's the maximum starting rank. Obviously you can go much higher, you can actually get up to shield rank 100. I start off with 867,000 ISO 8 as my reward. So that amount is going to vary depending on what rank you start as, and the subsequent ranks are going to be going up. From rank 66 you get 30,000, at rank 100 you're going to be getting 50,000 ISO 8. However, the amount of experience required to level up will also increase. That's very important to know because it's not going to be necessarily a linear progression. So we don't know exactly what causes your beginning rank, we just know that it's based on your roster strength. Obviously I have multiple maxed 5 stars, but even if you had a 4-star roster, it's still quite likely that you'd be starting out at rank 65. So how do you rank up additionally? There's a bunch of different things you can do. So the first way to rank up is through tokens. Now not all tokens give you experience. If you open a standard token, nothing. However, if you open up a heroic token, that's 3 experience. And if you open up a legendary token, that's 10 experience. But what else can you do? So first off, you can get additional levels by adding characters to your roster. So if you were to add an additional cover on a championed 2-star, you get 4 experience. If you add a cover to a champion 3-star, you get 10 experience. If you add a cover to a champion 4-star, you get 20 experience. And if you add a cover to a champion 5-star, you get 40 experience. Now for the first 13 covers, meaning while you don't have 13 covers over here yet on the character, for a 2-star you're going to get 2 experience per cover. For a 3-star you're going to get 5 experience. For a 4-star you get 10 experience, and for a 5-star you get 20 experience. And then lastly, for champion a 2-star, meaning when a 2-star is at level 94 and you champion it, that gives you 20 experience. If you champion a 3-star, that's 50 experience. If you champion a 4-star, that's 100 experience. And if you champion a 5-star, that's 200 experience. In addition to that, you get rewards for actually playing the game, which in my opinion is fantastic. So as you see, every node, when you play it for the first time and beat it, you get a reward. And after you finish the match, you'll see what that reward is. You can get this multiple times depending on the type of node. So there's two types of gameplay ones. One is just beating the first node in any chapter. For example, this is my first Daredevil Daily node, so I will get 10 experience for that. Additionally, because I am getting this check mark on this node, I'm getting an additional 10 experience. And when I say check mark, I mean once you've received the maximum number of rewards for that node. Generally, that's going to mean 6 times you have to beat a node before you get all the rewards. Of course, with the Daredevil Daily, there's only one time you can play each node, so it's much easier to get that extra 10 experience. Lastly, your first versus mode match gives you 10 experience as well. So there's a bunch of different ways. And lastly, you have your team up rewards, meaning if you send out team ups to your alliance mates, you get experience for that as well. And the experience you get from that depends on the character that you send out. If you send out a 4-star character, you get 2 experience. If you send out a 5-star character, you get 3 experience. So there's a whole bunch of things to keep track of now. It can be a little bit confusing. I think that you should study what you're going to do before you do it with this new mode out, as it can be a little bit tricky to make sense of it all. For example, does it make sense to send out 5 stars to get that extra experience over the sending out a 4-star? Because a 5-star might take longer to come back from its rotation, which would not then make economical sense. So there's a lot of different things to consider in terms of farming experience. But keep in mind that there really is a maximum amount you can earn in a given time period. So we talked about a whole bunch of things, and the last thing I really wanted to talk about is for all those people that all of a sudden found themselves with a lot of extra money, what should you do? Well, you have a couple different options. First thing is to consider where you are right now in the game. If you find yourself at the point of the game where you're having to constantly throw away covers because you don't have enough roster slots, then you're probably better off using your ISO to max characters that are not going to give you additional covers. You don't want to be throwing away covers, and HP should be your main focus. If you're at the point in the game, and you can really just spend ISO however you really want. If you're at the point in the game where you don't have a roster slot problem, and you're in the 3-star transition, you should kind of pick the best characters and not just max everybody out. You should be very careful in only maxing out the best characters in the 3-star world. If you're in the 4-star world and you have a bunch of max 3-stars, I would not suggest going back and maxing every 3-star first, because chances are we don't know what's going to be happening with the game in the future. This is just the first part of the rollout of the Shield ranking system. It's quite likely that they're going to be coming up with a new way to play the game in another month or so when they roll out the rest of the Shield feature. One of the things that people are speculating is that they're going to come up with some new sort of bracket system based on your Shield rank that you can maybe play. If you're, for example, a 4-star player, you can play in a 4-star player PvP, which will have 4-star rewards. And it's possible that the characters that you'll use will be 4-star characters in that PvP, rather than using 3 stars as a primary character. Leveling up 3 stars at that point would be a waste. You're better off focusing your ISO on your 4 stars. So we don't really know what's going to be happening with the rollout of the rest of this feature. So if you're able to wait, as long as you're not going to lose any covers, I would hold off on spending a lot of that ISO. Because you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you've got a bunch of maxed out 3 stars and no ISO for your 4 stars, and then you can't compete properly in the new 4-star PvP events that might happen. But we don't know if that's going to happen. So I would suggest trying to be patient for about 2 more weeks to a month and see what happens if you're already at the 4-star transition. Don't just throw away your ISO on 3 stars just yet. Wait and see. But again, it's kind of tough to hold on to ISO, so if you feel better spending it, then go ahead and do it. But I think this feature is pretty cool. It's only the start of a real full new feature. As of right now, it's just a way to introduce more ISO 8 into the game. It doesn't really change anything else besides giving you ISO 8 and coming up with all these kind of distractions about how to get experience, but it doesn't really change the game in any way. So we're going to have to wait and see what else is related to this new shield ranking system. What does it really mean to be a certain level? So we don't know yet, and we're just going to have to hang in there, and hopefully it's going to be a new interesting system to get people excited. So that's all I wanted to say about the latest addition to the game. Thanks for watching. Ask questions below if you have any, and I'll try to answer them.